Hello everyone! Today's video is going to be about trills. I'm going to show you my way of practicing, how to do them, how to practice them, which exercises are the best, etc. And I hope you will enjoy. So first of all, trill is not something musical. It's something rhythmic. So we have to practice trills, technically, with the metronome. So the most basic exercise, which was the best for me, was the exercise my former professor suggested me to do. So this is like, you put the metronome on 60 and then you just play a simple trill in 4 beats, then in 3 beats, then in 2, then in 1, then half beat, like 8 notes. So now I'm going to show the first exercise. At the beginning of the trill, you just have to be slow with a good entrance. I mean the attack, even if it's technique, just don't forget the sound, because I hear so many clarinet players playing trills like don't want that. I say that it's something technical, not musical, but you know what I mean by that. So we put the metronome. So at the beginning, I'm going to play 4 beats with a simple trill, not really fast at the beginning. 3 beats. Two beats. One beat. Half beat. So this is like a really simple, which is a basic exercise. If you do this on simple notes first, not so fast, taking care of the sound, everything together, then you do this on more difficult trills, then you will see that you improve in a short time. Okay, but you have to do it, of course, these exercises regularly. There is another exercise which I like a lot. It's also good to practice scales. I'm going to show again one simple scale, which is C major. You do it on different octaves. So C major is possible on 2 octaves. And of course, if you can go until this C, which is going to be a little bit tough though, you can do also in 3 octaves. You practice this exercise like this. So you put a metronome again on 60 and you do it. You can do this with different rhythmics. Or you see, it's a little bit more difficult. Okay, it's tough. It gets a little bit more difficult when you do these kind of things with different rhythmics, but it's helping with the technique. So this is one of the exercises I like to work on scales and do kind of, it's not a trill, I know, it's a trill thing, like a warm-up, a passage in between from scales to the trills. Be creative, just find different rhythmics. I explained, you will do it better than me because it's been a while that I don't practice these things. You can do this exercise on each scale, then you can go a little bit faster and faster with the tempo. So we did, 4 beats and 3 beats, 2 beats, 1 beat and half beat. And now we can do also on the other way around. which is also a good preparation for trills. And on each note, chromatically, I'm starting from maybe the lowest E. Then you can continue like on C major, so you continue with F, G. If you have been watching my videos, I already told all of this, but for those who comes and sees this video first, it's completely new thing that they are watching my videos, that I'm reminding that your fingers should stay as close as possible to the keys when you're doing these trill exercises. I mean, technically it's not going to help to move your fingers that much on the keys, especially when you're practicing on trills, because this is something technical, as I told you. And yeah, we need to get better technically, so we need to work with our fingers, and to be able to move faster with the finger, they should work light. Of course, not like this on clarinet, but but you know, they should work light, nothing like squeezing my fingers. So now we continue with this exercise, of course with the metronome. You don't forget to put your metronome, otherwise it's not going to work. I'm sorry if you work all of this and if you don't put your metronome, it's a waste of time. Sorry, not sorry. Imagine that you're going to play a trill. Do, 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 re, da, 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 re, da, 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 da. Okay, so what are you going to play? So mathematically, you know, you have to know which note you're going to play and how much time and how you connect it to the other note, etc. So making a calculation is not sometimes enough. If I just move my finger till the end of the other note, I'm lost. Sometimes I try to do it so fast that I do a lot of trill. Okay, I forgot the metronome again behind. I will learn it one day. You have to know how much, how many trill you have to do in one beat or 2 beats, 3 beats. That's why the first exercise is the best. Now that we know a little bit better, look what I'm doing. I made it like calculated, and it works pretty fine actually. If I can do it on each note, I would have really good trills. So if you keep practicing all these exercises, which would be a really good start to take the trills in your hands and make them successfully. I also struggle sometimes for some trills, especially when you play Mozart. You know, there is this it's difficult actually sometimes, you know, because you come all the way like till the end of the exposition and you're tired, and the end of the very end of the phrase, and especially like for the auditions they ask till there, you have to make a very beautiful trill and finish on time. And if you make it a little bit too musical, then you're late. I talked about the technique, but now let's talk about musical stuff. If it's a classical piece, like if it was written in the classical century, I mean, so the style, you have to start the trills always from the upper note. Even if it's written on D, like, you know, you have to play, if it's a classical piece, it's like, it's like the ti da di da di da da da. The musical way, like the right way, is like this. So after doing these exercises I gave you, then you will be able to play musically also right, because you got the technique, you know. But if it's a romantic piece, of course, different story. Then you can start from the note, like the bass note of the trill directly, but slowly, you know. But of course, you know, it depends on the piece, depends on the composer, etc. Like many things. That's why I'm not saying some certain thing, you know, like there's not only one way of doing trills. So just be careful about that, because musicality is something which is more complicated than this. I mean, we don't play Baroque music, so I don't even talk about that. But for romantic pieces, for example, if it's again a trill written on D, you can even do that. Of course, in the orchestra, be careful. Do it mathematically, you know, because there's the conductor, always you have to follow. So, for example, there are these excerpts with Beethoven, symphonies, everything like this. So it must be really like strict, rhythmically correct. Okay, so to be able to control your trills and do them exactly how you wish, you have to practice them technically right. Then you put your musicality on that right technique, which will be the right way of doing anything actually for music. That's it for trills for now. Of course, there are many other exercises to do. If you are interested about more stuff, more exercises, more tips, etc. about trills or about anything, you can always write in the comments. And please don't forget to like the video, because I know a lot of you watch it, they like it, and they're like, oh, this is pretty good stuff, and then they even practice it, and then they don't even like the video, which is not nice, guys. And you watch all my videos and still didn't subscribe to my channel. It's really hurt.
Oh no!
See you next time, and have a nice practice. Bye bye.